Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We head to Montana Territory, back in the Old West, Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince. This episode originally broadcast September 2nd, 1956, and the return of Hattie Pelfrey.
At the gallop. Oh!
Fort Laramie.
Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier. The saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire. And the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
Well, they're peaceful as can be, Captain. I just checked their camp again.
They've been fed?
Yes, sir. Men have just finished feeding. Well, from all the records I've seen, I got the impression that the Arapaho were more warlike, like the Sioux and Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm.
But these Indians are... Am I bothering you, Captain?
Huh?
I say, if you're busy with something, I won't...
Oh, no, you're not bothering me, Mr. Syberts.
Yes, sir. About the Arapaho, I'm saying they don't seem very warlike to me.
These with us?
Yes, sir.
They're starving to death. That's why we're moving them. Now, where the devil did I put them?
Can I help you?
Not in my pockets. I thought I might have put them in something in my saddle roll.
If you've lost something, Captain, I'll be glad to help you look.
Yeah, fine. You didn't see me putting any stuff together before we left Fort Laramie, did you?
Well, you'd packed up when I saw you.
I'd sure hate to lose them now. Put them in at the last minute knowing we'd be coming this way.
Them, Captain?
Sure, them. They come in pairs. Always kept them in a little leather pouch and thought you were going to help me look.
Well, I was. I am, only you haven't said what we're looking for.
The earrings.
Oh, the earrings?
I don't think I took them out of the pouch, but I got no memory for where I did put them.
Captain, there's a little leather pouch hanging from your gun belt.
Sure, that's it. I wanted them handy so I wouldn't have to look for them.
Yes, sir. You did say earrings.
Sure. Here, I'll show you. Kind of small, aren't they?
Well, they're nice, sir. Garnets, aren't they?
Oh, little ones. Littler than that are the little chip diamonds. In real bright sunlight, they got a little glint to them.
I think they're very nice, Captain.
Yeah.
I'll bet you're glad you found them, all right.
They were my mother's. Near to the only bright thing she ever owned, I guess.
You wanted to bring them along on this trip, especially.
Sure. Don't get up this way too often. Well, glad you spotted the pouch, Mr. Syberts.
Captain
Where
Quince...
do you suppose I'd find Harrison about now?
He was giving the mess sergeant a hand the last I saw him, but Captain...
Well, I'll find him. Wonder if it hurts much, Mr. Syberts.
Hurt, sir?
Pretty tender around the earlobe. Bet it hurts like sin to have him pierced.
I imagine it's very painful, Captain.
Yeah. Well, that's one problem we don't have, Mr. Syberts.
They had it right down to the bone before you can look away.
Harrison?
Yes, sir, Captain.
Come here. I want to show you something.
Yes, sir.
These mean anything to you?
Earbobs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, they're right pretty, Captain. But they don't mean nothing to me.
Well, they should.
I sure ain't ever seen him before. I'd swear to that.
No, you've never seen him before. I see you still wear that ring you bought. St. Louis, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, St. Louis. But that was a spell ago, Captain, and you ain't figuring to strike up a trade.
Of course not.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Mighty glad. Because I got no need for earballs.
Oh, I promised him once, Harrison, a long time ago. You were there. I thought you'd remember.
I'm trying hard to recollect, Captain.
She took quite a shine to your ring. Stole it for a while. Then she said something about pretties not being for her.
You talking about old Hattie, what's her name?
Mm-hmm, Hattie Pelfrey.
Why, that old buzzard. I clean forgot about her. She near killed us, Captain.
And then turned around and saved our lives. This is Hattie's country, Harrison. I figure her cabin can't be more than 5 miles to the east.
I'm remembering her now, something fierce. I carried you up to her cabin. You recollect you had that bad leg?
Yeah, I remember.
There you was, shot up to a fare-thee well, and that old lady just stood there with a shotgun on us, and wouldn't let me bed you down till she took every bit of food and money and guns we had.
And our horses.
Them, too. And them Injuns, dog soldiers. Why, they was coming and going from her place the livelong time we was there, bringing her food and all. She was right friendly with the Injuns.
Arapaho.
You mean these same ones we're toting over to the Wind River Valley?
They're all Hattie's friends.
And I've been over there, feeding them, seeing to the needs.
Oh, Hattie's gonna miss her friends. I thought we ought to ride over to her place first thing in the morning. Give her these earrings.
She was the meanest, most cantankerous old witch I ever saw. And she was a witch, Captain. More of that than a woman. I never in my life... Did you say ride over to her place?
Yep, before we break camp in the morning.
You mean call on her proper? Like she was a great lady?
I promised her the earrings next time I came her way.
Well, I know, but... Why, Captain Quince, she'd soon fire on you as look at you.
Oh, you're awful rough on an old lady, Harrison.
Old lady.
You coming with me voluntarily, or do I make it an order?
I tell you the truth, Captain. I'd sooner face the Sioux Nation armed with nothing but a toothpick.
We leave at sunup, Harrison. That is an order.
Yes, sir.
If you got any money on you, leave it in your ring with Sergeant Gorse. I'm riding there with these earrings and my carbine.
I'm getting a sick feeling just knowing we're getting near to old Hattie every minute.
You better ease up on your talk, Harrison. We're only about a quarter mile from her cabin. Chances are Hattie can hear every word you're saying.
Probably standing up on her perch watching us, too. I got a kind of instinct when I'm riding into a body's gun sight.
Oh, Hattie wouldn't shoot at this distance.
She's got buffalo guns. They'll shoot nearly a mile away.
Yeah, but she'd have to walk clean out here to fleece us after the shooting. Hattie'd consider that a waste of motion.
Captain, you gone soft on that old lady?
She's every bit as lovable as a polecat. But she did save our lives once, and I promised her the earrings.
It ain't that you trusting her then?
She's pure larceny and a little murder thrown in. No, I don't trust her. I'm just paying an old debt, Harrison.
Yes, sir.
That's the slant of her cabin just beyond the rise.
A man would be plumb foolish to ride straight up to a door.
Uh-huh.
The way she goes around thieving, she might have took a howitzer off an infantry regiment passing by.
She called you a bawling calf once. I swear you're sounding more like one all the time.
Don't you fret yourself, Captain. Once we get around her, I'll be right quiet like.
Oh, she ought to be within earshot now.
I can make out the door from here. It's open, sir.
Hattie? Hattie Pelfrey?
Now, she ought to heard that, Captain.
Yeah, she should have. Come on, we'll lead our horses in.
But if a man was of a mind to get away...
Dismount, Harrison.
Yes, sir.
All right, now keep a sharp eye out. She wasn't one to stay quiet in her cabin.
I'm looking. Don't you think I'm not? Behind every rock, every blade of grass.
Hattie? Hattie?
Maybe she's off calling somewhere, Captain.
The only life near here was the Arapaho, and they're back at our camp.
But there was one friend in particular, remember? Sent her a side of beef whilst we was with her.
Yeah, Standing Bear.
Yeah, that's the one.
He was an Arapaho chief. I asked about him from the others. They told me he didn't last the winter. Died of the cold. Sure not a sign of her around.
Miss Pelfrey? You around somewhere, Miss Pelfrey?
Yeah, let's go inside, Harrison.
And leave the horses?
Tether the horses. I'm going in.
Yes, sir.
Hattie? This is awful. This is filthy.
Captain, you all right? Captain!
Just a rat, Harrison. I shot it.
Oh, well, sure sounded like old times for a minute there, sir.
The place is probably full of them.
Oh, she was none too tidy when we was here, Captain. But she's let it go for fair now, ain't she?
Nothing humans lived here for a spell, not even Hattie.
Why, it's no more than a lean-to. Just crumbling. Everything's just crumbling. I wonder what's come of her.
I don't suppose we'll ever know that, Harrison. Well, we better get back to camp.
Yes, sir. She was right old, wasn't she, Captain?
Right, old.
I tell you, she was a mean old critter. I didn't warm to her, and I feared her some. But I sure didn't wish her no harm.
Well, maybe you were right before. Maybe Hattie's off calling on her friend Standing Bear.
You said he was dead, Captain.
Yeah, he is.
September 2nd, 1956, Fort Laramie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we head back to Fort Laramie, September 2nd, 1956.
Come to see Morby, too, Captain?
They said over at headquarters that Major Daggett was over here expecting me.
Major Daggett sick?
I don't know. Went over to his office to give him my report. His orderly said they were expecting me at the hospital.
Sure hope nothing's wrong.
Well, I better find him. Oh, how's Morby getting along?
He's fine.
His leg was broken, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's mended.
Well, I'll try and look in on him. See you later, Gorse.
Yes, sir.
Major Daggett.
Captain? Lee, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, sir. But why over here at the hospital?
We can talk in Major Truck's office. You're worn out, aren't you?
Yeah, no more than anyone on the duty. 3 weeks is a long time.
Any trouble?
Moved kind of slow. They were a puny lot, the Arapaho. But we left them at Wind River better off than when we found them.
Oh, that's good. In here, Lee. Sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
You got someone sick, Major? Mary, is she sick?
Mary's fine, thanks.
Well, then?
Lee, ever since I've known you, I've had the impression that you have no people, no family.
That's right.
Your father died just before the war?
Couple months.
And your mother?
First winter of the war.
You went home, did you, when your mother died?
I didn't hear about it for almost a month. Word moved kind of slow then. Major, what's this about?
How did you hear about your mother?
Her minister wrote me a letter. It was written in ink, and the corporal who delivered it to me wore a bushy red mustache.
All right, Lee, all right. I'm not trying to make this hard on you, but this is peculiar business.
Yeah, it is.
There's a woman down the hall. Major Trucks put her in the isolation room. An old woman, Lee. And she says she's your mother.
She couldn't be.
It wouldn't seem so. I don't know how she got here, but she came about 3 days ago. Whoever she is, she's sick. Awful sick. You better talk to Major Trucks about her.
You can look in on her, Captain. Let her know you're here. But don't excite her if you can help it.
You want to listen to me, Major?
Please, keep your voice down. I'll be in the ward if you need me.
I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Hello, Sonny.
Well, Hattie, I might have known it would be you.
You got a kiss for your old ma, have you?
I'm not supposed to excite you. My name, the only one you could think of?
Well, you don't think I'd breathe the name of that bawling calf you had with you last we met. Besides, I figured I owed it to myself from Mr. Pelfrey to have an officer for a son.
Hattie, how do you figure to get by with this?
Well, Sonny, I'm getting by with it. I don't have to figure a thing about it. Might be the light in here, but you're looking downright seedy.
You got a looking glass?
Lawsy, Sonny, I'm old and sick. You just made my acquaintance about 60 years late. I was a fine-looking young thing.
Yeah, I know you were. You, walked down here from your cabin, I suppose.
Rode part way, walked, crawled, finally hooked on with a scrubby little wagon train.
Oh, no, you hate the Army, Hattie. How come you'd make your way here?
Now, where's an old woman like me gonna go when she's ailing? Standing Bear, he's dead.
I know.
I cut that bullet out of you. Saved your hide once, Sonny.
Yeah, you sure did that.
Look on it. It's your turn.
All right. I'll do that.
Yeah, you'd best run along. Now, Sonny, let your old ma sleep. I declare, I'm wore thin.
All right, you sleep, Hattie. I'll look in on you later. Oh, Hattie. Hattie. I almost forgot to give you these.
Understand, I'm not calling it a miracle, but the way that old lady's taken hold since you got back, Captain, well, it's an amazing thing to me.
Oh, she's a tough one, Hattie is.
The men are giving her a lot of attention. That helps her spirit, of course.
If it needs helping.
Captain, you're not eating much. Something on your mind?
Hattie. She takes my appetite.
Oh, I'm telling you, you can rest easy about her. She's going to make it.
She'll make it. Not that that's any cause for me to rest easy.
I just don't understand you. Sure, she claimed she was your mother. You gonna hold that against her? Why, she means that as a favor to you.
She means it as a favor to herself. Look, Major Trucks, you don't know Hattie like I do. She'd pull all your teeth out if she took a fancy to the gold in them.
Sure. She puts on a big show of being crusty. But I saw through that right away. Underneath, she's a sweet old lady.
Uh-huh.
And you don't fool me much either. You think she's pretty fine yourself.
Well, I gotta get back. Oh, you, gonna look in on Hattie? I'll go with you.
I'm stopping off at the storage room. First trouble I've had with it in months.
Trouble?
Pilfering. Somebody's pilfering the medical whiskey.
Captain Quince?
Oh, hello, Gorse.
I just come from the hospital, Captain.
Oh, how's Morby's leg, Sergeant?
He's coming along. I come directly from Mrs. Pelfrey, though. She's complaining you ain't been to see her in days.
She's getting plenty of attention.
The men are being right good about calling on her, taking little things like that, but... Captain,
Well, sir, we was always ones to speak our minds to one another.
You got something to say. Say it, Gorse.
I know she ain't your ma, but she looks on you like a son, and it grieves her that you don't show her more concern.
Hattie told you that?
Well, I guess I induced her to. I've been to see her a few times, come to know her a bit. I could tell something was, well, like I say, grieving her.
She's getting along all right, isn't she? Doing a good job of mending?
Major Truck says it's near a miracle. But, Captain, that ain't what I'm talking about.
You used to be a good judge of character, Gorse. Now, I'm not saying Hattie's all meanness, but I spent some time looking at her from the wrong end of a shotgun once, and I know
Captain, if you don't mind, I'd just as soon not hear any more about that.
You don't believe me? Ask Harrison.
Why, I listened to Harrison a while, too. But I got some stripes on him, and I can shut him up.
Mm-hmm.
To me, she's just a nice old lady who's poorly.
You off duty, Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Usually can tell when you are. Thought you wore your watch and chain when you were off duty.
Well, I do. That is, I did.
September 2nd, 1956, Raymond Burr in Fort Laramie here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these important messages.
Veterinary telemedicine is booming. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Teller, president of the American Veterinary Medical Association, and I know firsthand that telehealth is a valuable tool to help provide our precious pets with the health care they need and deserve. Here are some situations where telemedicine may be an option for you and your pet. If the veterinarian has seen your pet in person in the past. If you're not sure you need to schedule an in-person visit. If your pet had surgery and needs post-operative follow-up. For skin diseases and rash rechecks. When your veterinarian needs to monitor your pet's chronic problems such as diabetes or allergies. If there are behavioral issues or training challenges. Or for hospice care. It's always good to have your session in a quiet place with good lighting. If you're not sure if you should set up a telehealth session, call your veterinarian and they'll let you know. To learn more, check out avma.org/telehealth. avma.org/telehealth.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Fort Laramie, September 2nd, 1956.
Now, that's funny. I swore I put that on special just before I went to the hospital.
I think maybe you're right, Sergeant.
How's that, Captain?
I think maybe I have been neglecting Hattie too long.
Come in.
Afternoon, Major Trucks. How's your patient?
I'm doing fine. No thanks to you, Sonny.
Captain, you missed the show. Mrs. Pelfrey was just up walking around the room like she owned it.
I'm glad to hear that.
Well, I'll leave you two to your talk. Now, you keep walking like you did just now. You'll be out of here in a couple of days, ma'am.
To think I'm going to live to enjoy my twilight years after all.
Oh, there now, there. I don't want to see tears in your eyes.
Well, Sonny'll wipe 'em away. Won't you, dearie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take care of the tears. Oh, Major Trucks.
Yes?
You ever get a line on that missing whiskey?
Her cough medicine's there on her table.
I couldn't help myself. Ooh. Goes right to the spot. Ooh.
What did you ask me, Captain?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, all right.
Well, what are you peering at?
You got a fine color, Hattie. I've heard tell of folks recovering from bad spells getting roses in their cheeks, but yours is more of a flush.
Body's entitled to a bit of tonic and a potion to soothe her throat.
I heard a bite in the hand that feeds you, but you come near to stealing it off, don't you, Hattie?
I got most the whole caboodle of 'em fooled. But not you, Sonny. Well, it's all right. I tried, nice and motherly like, to tell that Major Trucks I'd spark to a little whiskey now and then. But I seen he wasn't going to make the offer of his own free will.
He thinks you're a sweet old lady now. Sweet old ladies don't drink whiskey.
Well, you'd be surprised about that, Sonny. Now, me, I've been nursing my own ills for more years than I can tell. There comes a time when a nip is all these old bones will respond to.
The earrings look mighty nice on you.
Yeah, well, they don't look nice at all, but I mean to wear 'em. You told me there's your own ma's, I recollect that. I'm right proud to wear 'em. Well, with them diamonds, though, Sonny, not the size of hen's teeth, even.
I was at your cabin, Hattie. You can't go back there.
You rushing me out.
You're coming back strong. You might get an idea to steal old Bedlam or the Platte River Bridge, and we need 'em.
You know, I got a mind to go up, live with Standing Bear's kinfolk, Wind River. If anyone was to see I got there safe.
I'll see you there, Hattie, when you're right able.
Well, you're a fine son, dearie. Well, best you go now. Let your old ma get a rest.
Oh, I might just want to kiss your cheek, just to be sure you'll rest easy.
Why, Sonny, did you can.
Sergeant Gorse will be glad I found his watch.
Now, how do you suppose that got under my pillow?
Doesn't matter. Must have been kind of bulky sleeping on anyway.
I'll rest easier now, Sonny.
I know you will. Oh, the money belt you took off me just now, Hattie. It won't bother you resting none. I took the money out before I came in. Sleep well, Ma.
Fort Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry, with Vic Perrin as Sergeant Gorse. The script was specially written for Fort Laramie by Kathleen Height, with sound patterns by Bill James and Tom Henley. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were Virginia Gregg, Sam Edwards, and Paul Duboff. Jack Moyles is Major Daggett, and Harry Bartell is Lieutenant Seiberts.
Company, attention! Dismiss.
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
September 2nd, 1956, Fort Laramie on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of the soap opera Claudia. This episode originally broadcast September 2nd, 1948.
And now, Claudia.
Oh, honestly, I don't know.
Anybody got a variety?
Well, no, that scene was better, a lot better. All right, we'll have a 10-minute break, and everybody back on stage in 10 minutes.
It's about time.
Claudia, mind stepping down here in the orchestra for a minute? I want to talk to you.
I'm coming, Mr. Varney.
We're going to start with Act 2, so, Joe, change the set.
Right.
Anything special, Mr. Varney?
Yes. Let me see now. What was it I wanted to talk to you about?
Something about my part?
Well, I guess it was. Must have been. How you doing, kid?
Well, I feel fine. I hope I'm doing all right.
You're doing all right, honey. And, just between us, don't let that Victoria Manners dame get you.
Oh, she doesn't, Mr. Varney. She can't help being a star.
She can't forget it, either. Let me see. What was it I wanted to talk to you about? Oh, yeah. It's about your long speech in the second act.
Is there something the matter with it?
Now, look. The girl you're playing is only a kid, but she hates her sister's insides. Get it?
Mm-hmm. Well, that part of it's easy, but still, don't you think that I should play for sympathy?
Try and get it.
Well, I don't think I can, frankly, but if I don't get sympathy from the audience, I'll get a laugh in my big scene, won't I?
Well, what is there to prevent it?
Nothing. It's the way it's written. It's written all wrong.
Hey, listen, are you starting to think that you're a star, too? The play's been changed 6 times. I'm going nuts. Oh, blasted cast is nuts. The author is nuts. But it's a Victoria Manners vehicle, so we gotta put up with it, and you do, too. Just the way the rest of us are doing.
You're so excited, Mr. Varney. I'm putting up with it. If you don't mind, I don't mind, but, well, I just felt the play went out the window.
So it goes out the window. Who cares? Oh, why am I in the theater? Why do I do this?
I don't know why you do it. I don't know why I do it. I have a husband. You don't have one, do you?
Nope, I haven't even got a husband. Now, look, you're a good kid, honey.
Thank you.
And you'll be all right Monday night.
I hope so.
I'm glad to have you aboard.
You look awfully tired.
I am dead.
We're not rehearsing tonight. Why don't you go home and sleep now?
I have got a million things on my mind. Don't tell me to go home and go to sleep, for heaven's sake.
I don't know how a man gets along without a wife.
My dear child, better men than I have been trapped that way.
Hey, Mr. Varney, you want to come out to the loft and look at the drop for the third act?
Later, after rehearsal. Oh, dear, dear, dear.
You know, I don't think I'd like being a director. You have to worry about everything, including me. I only have to worry about me, including nothing else.
It's a disease. Incurable. Have you got your costume ready?
Oh, I don't wear anything important. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing the same thing through the whole play, if you don't mind. Blue slacks and white shirt. It's nice and simple.
Yes, it is.
I like it. Think it's right?
I wish Victoria Manners were as easy to please as you are.
She goes from shorts to sables, doesn't she?
The entire rigmarole.
Well, I'll try to do that speech in the second act better, Mr. Varney.
Now, look, Claudia. It's very simple. Just forget the lines and act.
It sounds very simple. It's not quite as simple as it sounds, though. Anyway, I'll have the author on my neck if I do that.
Don't worry about the author.
No, thank you. Oh, it feels as if we've been in this theater 3 days and 3 nights without leaving.
You know, honey, your husband's going to be very sorry that you're so talented.
My husband is a very extraordinary man. He doesn't mind anything. Well, I guess we better get started again.
Hey, Mr. Varney, I gotta have a word with you.
Now, look, Joe, we're just about ready to start rehearsing again.
Look, just a word. It's imperative.
Every time I hear just one word with you, Mr. Varney, my ulcer kicks up. Well, don't just stand there. All right, Joe, what's on your mind?
Well, it's
Hey,
like...
honey, don't go away.
I'm right here.
It's a props. We're having a devil of a time getting the props for the interior.
Well, haven't you been able to borrow the furniture?
Sure, we borrowed some chairs and a console and pictures for the walls, but that's all.
Well, let's see. You need a dining room table, dining room chairs, of course. And you need a secretary.
Yeah, find it.
Oh, Eastbrook must be full of furniture like that. All those little antique shops down the road.
They won't loan it to us. This is their big season. They won't loan us nothing.
Oh, dear.
They said they never sold a piece of furniture off our stage, and Labor Day week is a good week for selling, so no dining room table and no secretary.
Oh, fine. Great. Delicious. We'll do the play without a second act.
Hey, wait a minute. Not so fast. My big scene is in the second act.
Now, don't complicate things, Claudia.
So, what do we do?
Must you bother me with every single one of your problems?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah, as I said, what do we do?
I don't care what you do. Find the stuff, build the stuff, do anything you have to do to get it. But don't buy it.
Buying it is the only thing I haven't done. Look, why don't you get the author to rewrite the second act so the whole thing takes place on the outside terrace, huh?
So imaginative.
Or maybe you'd like we build a swimming pool set for a change of atmosphere.
Very funny.
No props, no play.
Let me see. If I weren't living in a boarding house, you could have my furniture. But what's in my room, I wouldn't lend to a flea. What do you got in your room, Joe?
What I got shouldn't happen to a dog.
Yeah, you should have a play about a dog.
What is it exactly you need, Joe?
A dog. But for the show, I need a dining room table with 6 chairs. It must be English style. And a Queen Anne secretary must be English style, too.
Queen Anne usually is.
That's all I'm asking, not another thing. How is that so much?
It's a matter of...
Everybody on stage, second act.
Mr. Varney, just a moment, please.
There goes my ulcer.
Mr. Varney, would you mind terribly if I lent you the props for the second act?
Well, honey, I wouldn't mind anything ever. Just don't sue me for scratches.
Well, I wouldn't dream of suing you, but we have a Queen Anne secretary that would just go perfectly, and beautiful Sheraton dining room table and chairs.
Mrs. Norton, you are my dream come true. You are hereby promoted to the prop department.
I don't see any reason why I can't borrow the chairs. I'm sure David won't mind.
Well, I borrowed his wife. Why not even his Queen Anne secretary?
Why not? I honestly don't see why he'd mind. I know you wouldn't hurt anything. Well, you don't think he'd mind, do you?
Mind? Why should he mind?
Yeah, why should he?
Not one reason in the world I can think of. David's the kind of person who believes in all good men coming to the aid of the party. What party is it that all good men come to the aid of?
Loaning their household goods.
All right, go on. Call up your husband, honey. Then, please, let's get started on the second act.
Well, listen, there's no need to call. I'll tell you what, Joe. You just get in your truck and drive over to the farm. The house is the third house after crossing the river. It's right on River Road to the left. You can't possibly miss it. And I'm sure if you go over right now, you'll find David home.
Wonder how things are going at the theater, Mother.
Starting to sound like a chorus. Every few minutes, one of us starts wondering how Claudia's doing at the theater.
She's been so busy, we've hardly had a chance to talk to her.
Hope it won't be too much of a letdown for her when it's over.
Probably will be. So I've been thinking of turning her loose on furnishing the house.
Claudia's just been itching to go bargain hunting.
Well, when she's through with the theater and has a little more time, she can busy herself on that. And she won't feel as if she's coming to a dead stop.
You're a very thoughtful husband.
Oh, not at all. I'm going to draw a lot more money from the firm. I had a talk with Roger the other day. We went over the books. And starting this fall, we ought to be able to manage. We've been sort of getting along with a minimum of everything.
The pieces you have are beautiful.
Oh, I'm not complaining, but I know how anxious Claudia's been to get everything all settled. That'll be a good time, you know. I'm rather pleased she's so interested in furnishings and things.
You know, considering how little she knows, her taste isn't so bad. It's almost as good for sofas as for husbands.
And mothers. Hey, where's my pipe? Oh, here it is. Mama, do you think it would run the coffee grinder for me to grind up some of this old tobacco in it?
Well, I'd advise it.
Wonder who that is.
I'll answer. I notice you're in the middle of lighting your pipe. I would for the world disturb you.
Mrs. Brown, allow me to say that you're the last word in mother-in-laws.
Yes?
Third house on the left on River Road. Is Mr. Norton home?
He's inside. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Bring him a message from Mrs. Norton?
Is everything all right?
Oh, sure, everything's all right. She's rehearsing.
That's a relief.
What is it, Mother?
Somebody from the theater to see you, David. Message from Claudia.
Oh, a private messenger.
Oh, Mr. Norton, I'm Joe. I'm the prop man.
Pleased to meet you. How's the play going?
It stinks.
Oh?
I suppose I'll get by. Your wife's okay.
Well, that's encouraging.
But I have troubles of my own. I come over to pick up your furniture.
What?
That's right. Your wife sent me over in a truck to pick it up.
Take away the furniture?
Oh, we're only just temporarily borrowing it for the second act.
Oh, I see. Well, just exactly what is it you want? A picture, a couple of tables, or a chair?
Nah, we got that small stuff. I'm here to take your dining room and your Queen Anne secretary.
What?
Did you say the dining room?
And the secretary. Mrs. Norton said you wouldn't miss them.
Mrs. Norton is a very misunderstanding woman.
We folk in the theater, you know, anything for the show.
I'm starting to believe that. You've stolen my wife, and now you're about to steal my home from under me.
I'm leaving you your mother-in-law.
Perhaps you'd rather take me and leave him the dining room.
Sorry, we got plenty of character actresses. Oh, Mr. Norton, look, this is an emergency.
It certainly is.
Your wife said it would be all right.
What do you think, Mother?
She's your wife, David, and it's your dining room and your Queen Anne secretary.
I'm starting to think nothing belongs to me.
Okay, so I'll go back to the theater empty truck. No second act, but who cares? I don't care, you don't care. Only Mr. Varney's ulcers care.
The second act? That's Claudia's big scene, isn't it?
As I remember, it is.
What do you say, Mr. Norton? Do you or don't you?
I'll even give you a hand carrying the stuff out.
Well, that's darn swell of you.
I think nothing of it.
David, are you allowed to touch any of this furniture? After all, you're not a union member.
Hey, that's true.
Strictly between us, I hereby appoint you an honorary member of the Furniture Movers Union.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Norton, she said you were a swell guy.
Oh, she did.
And that you don't mind anything.
I don't.
David, be careful.
And I ask you, what good is a dining room table when your wife's an actress?
It's better than nothing.
That Queen Anne's secretary would look just terrific. It's not a bad piece.
I've always liked it myself.
Well, I'm going to back the truck over the front door, just in case.
Yeah, do that little thing.
Well, David?
It looks like we're not going to have any furniture at all, Mrs. Brown.
So it does, Mr. Norton. No wife, no furniture.
No, nothing.
David, are you sure you should? You still have some rights.
No, I think it's a fine idea. After all, Claudia's hardly here these days. She almost lives at the theater.
But you're home.
Home is where your wife and furniture are. So come on, Mother. Give me a hand with this table. The show must go on.
You'll hear some parents complain that they just can't keep the youngsters at home. Certainly, there's no sure method for accomplishing this feat, but it is true that when there's plenty of Coke on ice at home, the high school set doesn't have to go out to get it. These teenagers like to have their friends in for Coca-Cola, too. At $0.25 a carton or $1 a case, this is scarcely what you'd call an extravagant gesture. It's worth trying, don't you think? If you have children that age.
Very decent guy, Mr. Norton.
For lending you his furniture?
Well, it's not every man who'll do that for his wife.
Well, David's a pretty loyal person.
Yeah, got over some other husbands I know like a tent.
Say, if you think he acted loyal today, wait till you see him tomorrow.
Yeah, what gives?
The supreme test of a husband. To side with or against a wife when she's wrong.
That's what I gotta find out. So I'll be around. So long now.
All right, goodbye.
September 2nd, 1948, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this station and support their advertisers? It is our kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. And if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single program. All of our shows are available on demand by going to classicradio.stream. At classicradio.stream, you can stream our shows. You can find listings of podcast sites where our shows are available via podcast. You can also contact me there. You can also get our social media links. You can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. And you can also buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee site is for us to acquire new classic radio collections for us to bring to you here on this program. The most latest ones we found are new copies of the Captain Midnight serial and also Casey Crime Photographer. You can do that at classicradio.stream. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.